I appreciate you letting.
I don't even have your mic on yet. Okay, Shane, you're mic'd up.
Okay.
You just ruined my intro, though.
Sorry.
Shane just starts yelling on the other side of the studio.
I was just going to say I appreciate you letting that music run for so long. I enjoy it.
It's not something I'm going to let happen every day. Hey guys, welcome to PrepperCon Radio. We are excited. This is the week of all weeks. This is it. PrepperCon is happening this Friday and Saturday at the Southtown Expo Center. If you don't have your tickets yet, you're crazy. You've got to go get your tickets. We have the coolest things coming up, and we've got an amazing show today as well. Let me give you just a quick headline of what's coming up in the next couple of days. I mean, we have our shoot house finalized. MilSim City's bringing that in. You can do some airsoft training simulations. We're trying to get a crazy man to come in and be our active shooter, so you can shoot him. Yeah, he's a fun local favorite. We've also got a archery tag game, so you can actually go in and practice with moving targets. Hunger Games. I mean, come on, guys. Cool. Utah's very own Hunger Games. We have our hurricane simulator. We have the food storage cook-off, and we have a taster's choice. So if you want to find out what all the different food storage companies really taste like, you need to get out to PrepperCon. Friday afternoon, they're going to be doing the taster's choice to find out whose lasagna is the best. Whose milk is the best? We're going to have, I think, 6 different things you can taste, find out which one's the best, and guess what? They're all going to be in the building, so you can then go buy the stuff you like. That way you're not wasting money on things that you do or don't like. I mean, you're getting exactly what your family will eat. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're super excited, and I just found out my mic's a little low, so we're fixing that.
Scott is super excited for this to be done as well. He's
not to be done.
Running crazy.
I'm running crazy. I've been pulling 18-hour days for the last month and a half.
I'm not saying. I didn't say over. I said to be done.
This week is the 12-hour to 14-hour days until Thursday, and then it goes back to 20-hour days. So, come out, guys. We've been working on this thing for a year. It is going to be spectacular. We've got Doomsday Preppers coming from National Geographic, the best of the best. Becky Brown, Braxton, Southwick, they're both locals, but they're fun guys and gals. We've got Tim Ralston from Arizona, who's the inventor of the Crowble. He's going to be there with some of his new products, and he's always innovating. He's always got the coolest stuff. And then we've got Kyle Bell and Ben Bell off of History Channel's Mountain Men.
You guys got an awesome mustache.
Dude, they're legit. These guys are awesome. And that voice you heard is actually one of our special guests, a good friend of mine, John, with Survival Medical. And John is like flipping the entire industry of first aid on its butt.
It's very cool. And I wanted to say real quickly, we have a couple of new mics here in the studio, so if we're too loud or too soft, please let us know.
Yes, please.
I guess we should probably plug in some headphones.
We should get some headphones. We are unprepared. Do not be like us.
Hey, don't say that.
Get prepared. Come to PrepperCon and get prepared. So, John, Survival Medical, how did you get into that?
Well, there's a fun story there. So it's just a matter of looking around and seeing this industry blow up. 10 years ago, this all happened in the shadows. You know what I mean? It was a different culture.
Oh yeah.
And as I've seen things grow,
it was like Fight Club.
Absolutely, yeah.
First rule of Fight Club, you don't talk about first rule of prepping. You don't talk about prepping.
Absolutely. And as I've seen it grow, and you go to saw these conventions like PrepperCon pop up, and you go to them, and there's so many new food storage ones that you get lost in it. And there's so many new tactical companies out there that you get lost in it.
Yeah.
And to me, there's always been believing the 3 B's of preparedness. Beans, bullets, and Band-Aids. And so as I looked around at other companies, I looked at I thought this can be improved upon. So that's really where the concept started, and then I was basically breaking down of what needed to be improved upon. And I saw 3 things really that needed to get improved on. Number 1 was price. I remember ordering my first $700 medical kit, right? And I opened this thing up, and I felt like the biggest sucker on planet Earth. Like, wow, I didn't know you could put 700,000 Band-Aids in a backpack and call it a medical kit.
Like a scalpel and 80,000 Band-Aids.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
Exactly. Team it up with a pallet full of ramen noodles and you're prepared, right?
There you go.
So that was 1. Number 2 was the quality. Having a medical background, I looked at that. The quality was there, and it's not the same brands. It's not the same manufacturers that you'd see in hospitals,
right.
Or You know, and a hospital's a business. If they could buy something cheaper and it worked just as good, you know what they'd buy? They'd buy
You're
the
absolutely
cheaper
right.
one.
Yeah.
But the biggest one, and I think that's what really sets us apart, is I looked at long-term storage.
Mhm.
You know, I have my big medical kit, and it sits, with the rest of my preps.
Right.
And by the time I would actually need something, you go down there and you get a Band-Aid and it doesn't stick.
Right.
You get an alcohol swab out and it's just this crusty
Dry.
like, piece of
Yeah.
cardboard.
That happens all the time,
Yeah,
and that's because those things expire.
Exactly, and especially for the trauma dressings and the more expensive stuff, which you don't use a whole lot. So that kind of stuff sits around. You don't use it, and like I say, it's not as effective. It doesn't work as well.
Exactly. Anything organic is going to break down for the same reasons that your food storage does. Your cotton trauma dressings, like you're talking about, is going to start breaking down. After about 18, 24 months, you'll see them start turning yellow if they're white.
Yeah.
And then they get more brittle. They get non-absorbent. And then after a few years, your cotton absorbent pads will just turn into dust.
Yeah.
And so basically, that's the concept. And so about 3 years ago, we hired some R&D firms, and we started engineering and looking at how do we turn this into a shelf-life stable product where we can have
Let's get you closer to the mic so we can make sure we can hear you.
I can
This
do that
is
too, so.
amazing.
Basically, we wanted to figure out, that give people the same confidence they did when they buy their high-end food storage, that you can buy it once, put it on a shelf, and not have to worry about it anymore.
Yeah, I don't see anybody else out there doing anything like this.
No, we're the first company to do this, and I think
Let's turn them down. Your spike and
Okay, I'll go. We're just playing with these
play
mics.
in the new mic. Sorry,
Looks like
guys.
They're working for us.
Okay, go for it.
so. Basically, we were the first ones to do it, and we spent a
Nothing.
lot of money and a lot of research, a lot of time to figure out how to do that properly.
Cool.
And that's really the concept there. And then, of course, once you've got that concept figured out, the next challenge is to sit down. Most first aid companies throw a really broad net.
Yeah.
And you end up with something that's really not efficient for anyone. And so we really try to sit down and design each one of our kits or each one of our buckets and thinking about a specific person or a specific family in a specific scenario and think about the first aid applications that they're going to need to be prepared for.
Well, see, what I like is when I met you, and it was actually at another expo up in Idaho, there was the birthing bucket. I was like,
Exactly.
the birthing bucket. I'm like, pop a baby out. There you go. You got
In
a
a
bucket, catch
bucket.
him in. But everything was in there. And my wife and I, when we were buying all of our first aid stuff last year to update, like, she's like, we're buying 27 obstetric kits. I'm like, wait, what? Why?
Congratulations,
27.
that's
I
awesome.
know. I'm like, I'm not marrying 5 more women. We're not going to have 27 kids. And she's like, well, my sisters, my sister-in-laws, what about anyone else that you meet? I'm like, how often are we going to come across someone that's going to have a baby? Well, the other problem, I'm like, okay, fine. She won that argument. She's like, I just want to help whoever needs help. I'm like, I can't argue that. But the problem is in another 8 months to a year, those items are going to start expiring. And I'm like, dang it. And then I find yours, I'm like, okay, whatever. And then you're like, well, check this out. It's
Exactly.
completely sealed. Oxygen's removed. I'm like, crap, I just wasted a ton load of money.
And I love 5-gallon buckets. They have so many uses beyond obviously just storing the product initially. You can use it for something afterwards.
Absolutely. Anytime you're in preparedness, you want to be redundant in anything's uses.
Yeah.
And so that was definitely a big concept. There's a YouTube video out there, 4 Directions Bushcraft is the guy in his channel. And he's an EMT and a pretty famous bushcraft guy. Chris Deslow, awesome dude, super smart. And he actually is showing our products in his demo and then took everything out, filled the bag up with water, took a hot stone out of the fire, and boiled water in the bag as he's holding it, just to show the
In the Mylar bag.
In our bag.
Oh, very
That's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
So,
Well, the other thing for the listeners, I mean, you've got kits for your backpack. Hiking, if you're doing an extended hike, you've got a kit for that. If you've got, if you're a hunter, you've got kits for that. Like, you've got specialized kits for different types of things so that you're not lumbering around this big bucket everywhere you go, or 3 big buckets. You've got what you need in your bag. You've got a bucket where you need a bucket. You've got everything specialized. And one of my favorites was you pulled out this kit, and we've joked around about it a lot. You pulled out this kit which has It's basically your kind of like your pandemic suit, I guess, right?
That's just what I was going to say, pandemic kit.
So you've got your coveralls, you've got goggles, you've got a mask, you've got gloves, and you've got tape. And I'm just like, we were joking around about this just a few days ago. Like, we made a call sign, well, not even a call sign, a hand sign so you know when it's time to put that on. But it's like, you can just slide it under your seat and forget about it until you need it.
Yeah, we do
Just
that.
keep it in your cars.
We do that kit in size small through 2X, and we package it in a really slim profile specifically for the idea. I mean, you don't need a contaminant protection suit if you're at home. You close the door.
Right,
You know?
exactly.
And so the idea is, if you've got fallout or some crazy Ebola breakout happens and you need to get home, then you can buy the kit. It comes in a super thin profile. Again, it's in our packaging system where all of these materials, like your N95 respirator that's majority cotton, your suit, which is a lot of organic material in the suit. Who knows? It's Tyvek though, right? So you don't know what's
Right.
but there's a lot of organic material in there, and it all is going to get brittle and worthless over time. So it's in our system, but it's packaged real thin, so you can buy one for the whole family. You know, most families you kind of like have assigned seating, right? Dad's over here,
Yeah.
mom's over here, and this kid sits here.
Yep.
So you buy one, and they're by size. You stick it out underneath the seat. You're talking about $22.
Yeah,
you know?
and if you're a traveler, that's a perfect item to stick into your carry-on or.
Well, then once you break open that bag, you got that bag for other uses, which I love redundancy. And so it's just amazing how quickly your system can be deployed, but also how long it lasts. Like, I look at it now and I'm like, I'm not going to spend, $300-400 a year on medical supplies. I'll spend $300-400 a year on medical supplies every 10-20 years. Like, well, depending on how accident prone I am or am not over the next 5-10 years. But the beautiful thing to me is it's so simple. Like, why didn't anybody else think about this? I'm so glad you guys came along. Tell us about, you guys are going to be at PrepperCon. You're excited about the Hurricane House and using the winds to stop wizards and magical beasts.
We were just
He's been
joking.
teasing me all week.
This was our joke in the warehouse this week. We've got a warehouse where you can imagine, sometimes we've just got to cut up because we're, got a bunch of guys just putting gauze in bags. It gets redundant. And so we try to joke around and help everybody. And we were talking about your Hurricane House and how cool that is. And then we asked ourselves, well, they're in Utah. Is there a wizard coming along that's going to conjure up a hurricane out of
The hurricane out of
Great
the Great Salt Lake.
Right.
Right?
Is there something going on I didn't know about? Is that
There's
that
not.
possible?
We are combating Comic-Con
Oh.
with our Hurricane House.
Oh,
No, we're not. I'm just kidding. No, but you've been teasing me all week, and I love it. We have the Hurricane House. It's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, I mean, everything we're doing at PrepperCon is so that people have a new experience. We could have done an earthquake simulator. We could have brought one of those in, and it would have cost us about half as much as what we spent to build our Hurricane House. But this is new. It's different. It's fun. People are going to enjoy it. The big thing is we just want people out there because once you're out there at PrepperCon, you're going to meet guys like John. You're going to see the gear that he has, and you're going to say, aha, that's what I've been looking for.
Well, I think that's what's so cool about you guys, about PrepperCon and your event is that we go to these expos all across the country, and everybody has a different concept and a different idea. I really like, it seems to me as if the idea behind PrepperCon is we're going to have fun, and in that fun, we're going to wake people up to something that maybe they didn't really take as seriously as they should have. Like the Hurricane House. Like, obviously in Salt Lake Valley, there's probably not a huge risk of a hurricane. On the other hand, it's the kind of thing that wakes you up and realize that crazy things can happen in life.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't matter if you're in Salt Lake or if you're on the coast somewhere. And I think it's awesome that you're doing that and doing it in a fun way. It brings out a different crowd, I think, than what normally attends preparedness expos. And I think that's awesome that you guys are doing that service.
Thank you.
And doing it that way. Because a lot of times it's a doom and gloom thing, and we're seen as alarmists. And I think you guys are really doing a great job to shatter that mold and get in a different crowd that's maybe thinking about preparedness. When they come to PrepperCon, see all the new things that are out there, see all the different reasons, and
Yeah, absolutely.
We have fun with it. Well, we're hitting a break. Thank you so much for being here with us, John.
We'll see you at the show.
See you at the show, and if you want to get a quick beat on it before, survival-medical.com.
As a Marine grandma, I really care about my family's health.
We got the dance music going. Welcome back to PrepperCon Radio on K-Talk AM 630. Join us in all of our conversations. We're on Facebook, K-Talk Media, or K-Talk, KTKK.
Yeah.
So find us on Facebook. We're there, K-Talk. Find us on Instagram. Find us on Twitter. Twitter, KTKK, K-Talk Radio. It's a lot of fun. You can see what we're talking about, see what we're doing, interact with us. And feel free to call in because we love that. Number here to call in, 801. I'll do my announcer voice. 801-254-5855.
Very
That's
nice, Scott.
801-254-5855. You know, we've got a special guest coming online. We're talking PrepperCon, all things PrepperCon this week because, of course, this week is our show. So I want to bring in our special guest, Jason. Let me bring him on the air. Jason, are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
Awesome.
Hey, Jason.
So Jason is the man over at Stealth Gear USA. And you guys are one of our major sponsors this year. Thank you so much. Tell us what Stealth Gear USA's got in line for PrepperCon this year. You were there last year and it was awesome. What are you doing different?
All right, so this year we have some really special pricing going on. So anyone who's within 50, 100-mile radius better get down and check out our booth. Come see our product that is making waves in the concealment gear community. Our holsters are number one for true comfort with our patented vent core. And the technology behind that allows you to really carry all day with no issues. And so we're going to have some really special pricing. So yeah, that's going to be the biggest thing is pricing that we've not done before.
So this is going to be the sale of all sales.
Yeah, at this point in time, it's the sale of all sales from Stealth Gear.
Awesome.
But it's at the show only that we're going to be doing this pricing. So
So are you talking in particular, when you had mentioned, is it the groundbreaking new holster, I guess this new Flex that you've got, is that what you're referring to?
yeah, that's going to be, we'll have the OWB Flex holster.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have two of our in-the-waistband holsters. Our Onyx that's been just the leading product in our line for
That product,
for 3 years now.
the Onyx is amazing. Like, I've got one of those, and I sleep. I've fallen asleep with my gun in my waistband in the Onyx, and I don't even realize it's there. Probably not the smartest thing to just go napping around, but it's funny because any other holster I've tried, they're so bulky or uncomfortable or just pinching or it makes you sweat. You know, the Onyx I love because I don't sweat. I don't sweat on my gun. You know, it's comfortable. It doesn't shift, doesn't slide. It stays right where it's supposed to, and I can change the tilt on it. So if I want to draw from the can't.
Yeah.
Thank you, Shane, the smart guy.
Tilt is still, that's great. I'll just shut up.
Shane's just going to bust my chops no matter what. But it's so, I love how versatile it is, but it's so ridiculously comfortable. Like, how long did it take you guys in R&D and development to get it to where it is?
Paul Levlin, the founder of Stealth Gear, he had an issue with a holster failure in a big box store as a contractor 4 years ago or so, and he went home that night and just pulled out all of his, the box of holsters that we all have. He pulled those out, made a list of what he liked, what he didn't like, and what he wanted to create. He was done buying other people's holsters. So over the next 6 months, he tinkered with a whole lot of synthetic materials, breathable materials. He knew he wanted it to be breathable and padded and truly comfortable. 6 to 12 months later, there was a finished product that a lot of his friends and family were pushing him to put on the market. So that's what he did, and surrounded himself with people to get that job done, and so here we are.
Yeah, you guys, I've been to the shop, and you guys it's a class act operation. You guys are smooth, everything is the same. You're not worrying, and it's handmade. That's the thing I love. It's handmade, it's made here in America, made here in Utah. Mm-hmm. You guys are a local company, and it's just quality. Every time, I've been there a few times actually, and every time I'm there, it's done exactly the same every time. Make sure there's no mistakes, make sure it's done right. And I love that about you guys. It's just, you're doing a great job, you're doing a great thing, and really you do have the best holsters, from my opinion.
And a few things that really set you apart to me is that every single holster is made specifically for that particular firearm. It's not a one-size-fits-all, or it's not a particular mold is used for a dozen different firearms that are all individual, correct?
Yeah, exactly right.
My particular favorite one is of course, is the new Flex. I wear that thing. You know, I've been wearing it for a couple months now. I wrote a review on it, and I don't think I can gush enough about that particular holster. It's an outside the waistband, concealed carry holster, and I do not notice that holster. I used to always wear it inside the waistband, and now, excuse me, now I'm really an outside the waistband concealed carry guy. I mean, it's changed my whole outlook on concealed carry. Going to a full size is much easier to conceal with this particular holster.
Yeah, that's awesome. You hit a good point there. That we're one of the only companies that has produced a concealment OWB holster. There's a lot of great products on the market that are great for taking to the range, or more tactical. Where you got a full wrapped kydex. Well, we went different. We went a different route, and you don't typically see a hybrid OWB holster because they typically just haven't been done. They haven't been executed correctly to have good retention. But the way we designed this OWB Flex holster is we answered that with the way we designed some flexible wings, and then also worked with a local manufacturer here in Utah County, where we designed some belt clips to specifically pull that holster tighter to your body. So it works really well, as you pointed out, Shane. That super comfortable, and the benefit to it, if you can, if the OWB is the way you want to carry, and you can start buying pants that actually fit. You don't need to jump up a size or two.
Exactly.
So there's a couple benefits there.
Yeah, absolutely, a lot of benefits. And one thing I find is that I can carry it in my preferred position's about 4 o'clock, 4:30, right around there on my waist. But I can carry it all the way up front in appendix carry as well, and it doesn't get in the way as much as some other appendix carry, which are actually tucked into your pant. This is on the outside of the pant, and it rides higher, so I can actually sit down in my car with it in appendix carry position, and it doesn't get in the way.
That's really rare. That's amazing.
Exactly.
Because I've tried appendix carry. I can't handle it.
Yeah, me either.
Because first of all, it's aiming right at my favorite things. Second of all, it's just so uncomfortable to try to sit or twist or turn or bend over to pick something up. With most of the different
It's very convenient for drying and for presenting your firearm to accessing your firearm. That's really probably the safest location because it's not around your back. Nobody else can get to it. It's right in front where your hands normally are. You don't have to reach around to it. So appendix is theoretically a great way to carry, but it's very uncomfortable.
Yeah,
you got to keep it closer to the light, Shane.
Is that good enough?
Yeah, you bring up some good points. I think appendix carry also has some good benefits to peace of mind. You don't worry too much about your shirt riding up in the back.
That's true.
Perhaps printing. You're in a checkout line at a store, and you're very close proximity of someone. If you're carrying it 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, or even 4 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And when it's up front, it's in your workspace. You're not really worried too much about eyes wandering down into your crotch. So,
that's a good point.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But and honestly, I've gotten to the point where when I carry, I carry, like I say, about 4 o'clock, 4:30, and if my shirt rides up, I don't make a big deal of it because obviously in Utah, open carry is perfectly legal without a permit, and so if someone sees my firearm, I really don't care. But it also depends on the situation you're in as well. I know it's when we're out showing houses, we may have a client who we don't know their stance on firearms and so forth, and so we may want to be a little more discreet. So
when he says showing houses, he's referring to the fact that we're both realtors full-time.
Yeah.
That's how we make our money. That's the funniest thing is we make our money doing real estate. PrepperCon Radio, we don't make we don't make a dime on PrepperCon
We hope
Radio.
by the end, after ticket sales, that we can at least pay for our gas money.
I'd like to be able to buy a new stealth gear holster when I'm all done.
A few gadgets of the show is my goal, absolutely.
But we do this whole thing. We do this whole thing because it's something people need, and I think our last guest John pointed out the fact that PrepperCon is different than any other type of preparedness expo. We engage people. We want it to be fun and interactive. We want you to come and have a good time and learn something. There's something for everybody. Stealth Gear, you guys are helping sponsor one of our fun attractions this year, the Shoot House, which is a training simulator. Thank you so much for doing that. This is, for those of you who've never tried a shoot house or a training simulator like this, it gives you the opportunity, we're working out the finer details right now, but it gives you the opportunity to go in, actually learn how to slice the pie, so to speak. So learn how to angle into a room. So if there is an active shooter in your house, if there's a home invader, if you're in the office and something happens, this gives you the opportunity to get just a little extra training to understand how to equip yourself for those situations.
So you can make those decisions whether, okay, am I going to run or am I going to try and defend the others around me who are compromised?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Stealth Gear's making that happen, so thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I just wanted to add that it's important to us to help see this event come to fruition because it's important for those out there who there's a lot of people who carry a firearm for peace of mind and self-defense, and they don't take the time to practice. So if they were to come to the event, check out this shoot house, and just get a taste, and see what they're missing out on, because training is fun and it stretches your abilities, stretches your skills, but it's also just kind of plants a seed that hey, you're carrying a weapon that can cause a lot of harm. Obviously, those of us who are responsible, we carry them for good reason, but that should come with training. So hopefully it plants the seed with people and gets them into a training scenario.
Absolutely, and you brought up a really good point there is, the next to your choice of handgun, your choice of holster is the next most important decision, and I don't take that lightly at all. I've gone through so many different types of holsters trying to decide how to carry, what to carry, where to carry, and I found a good one before, and then I found Stealth Gear, and literally I was blown away. The comfort of this thing and the quality is really second to none, and I'm not just saying that because you're one of our sponsors. I am absolutely thrilled with this holster, and I think as you carry more and you really appreciate the quality of a good holster and how key it is in your defensive carry and being able to, how you can train properly with the right holster, it really is extremely important. And I think it's worth every penny to have the right product from your choice of your handgun down to the holster.
Absolutely, and to add to that, we've got several different models of holsters, a 30-day money-back guarantee, and a lifetime warranty. So it's not uncommon that someone says they order up a holster and perhaps it doesn't fit them the best. And we'll swap them out for another one, and they'll fall in love with a different carry position or a different style holster. So we're all about getting someone to the right solution that works best for them, because there's lots and lots of variables for each individual carrier.
Absolutely, there's a lot of different ways to carry. There's the shoulder holsters. I know you don't make those, and I'm kind of ripping on shoulder holsters and such, but the ideal way to carry is at your waist, on your strong side, whether you're be your right or your left. So that choice of holster, and you may have to buy half a dozen different holsters to find what works best for you. But I think if you go straight to Stealth Gear, you're going to get your problems resolved right away.
I agree with
definitely.
that. I totally agree with that. And it's funny because I came across Stealth Gear last year when we started doing PrepperCon, and I've been buying. I've got a box full of holsters I don't use now.
Yeah, exactly.
I've been buying all these other ones thinking, okay, this one will work. And I'll like it for a week or I'll hate it right away. And then I get my Stealth Gear holster and I'm like, whoa, this is comfy.
It's perfectly thought out.
The cant of it was almost perfect right out of the gate. I twisted a few things, but it's just simple. It's just, here you go. Tweak it how you want it, customize it to your own liking. But the comfort level is what I think sets you guys apart, and the fact that I can carry and not like leather holsters are great, but you sweat in them. Full Kydex is great, but you sweat in it. Then it's just not comfortable. After a while it kind of wears on you. Or the other problem I found with a lot of holsters is the carry point ends up throwing off your alignment, your spinal alignment.
Yeah.
But with my Stealth Gear holster, because of the way it's ergonomically fit, it actually forms around my body, so it's not causing a pressure point.
Exactly. I don't want to have to stand differently or sit differently, which can then tweak my spine or misalign my muscles or whatever, and give me problems in feeling in my hips or my back. But it just disappears. It's not noticeable. I don't have to adjust how, like I say, I'm sitting or standing just because I'm carrying.
Exactly. So, Jason, tell us where, if we want to check out Stealth Gear before PrepperCon, how do we find your website? Where do we go?
Yeah, check out www.stealthgearusa.com. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter under Stealth Gear USA. And then if you're in the American Fork area, we've got a showroom in our facility down here, right by the Jack and Jill Bowling. That's the landmark that everyone seems to know.
Right.
Nice.
At 726 East 50 South.
Now, are you guys going to be bringing anything other than holsters to the event this weekend?
Yeah, we'll have belts that we launched, I think mid last year or late last year, and we'll have our SGX5 flashlight. That's an 800 lumen light,
Nice.
a defensive light. So that's a really cool tool to have on your kit, and they're priced really well. We designed them with another local manufacturer out of Salt Lake.
Nice.
And it's a really solid light. So come check that out. And we'll have some apparel
And you also have
pretty much our lineup.
tactical pins too, right? Oh,
I
sorry.
want to mention mag carriers as well. Yeah.
Nice. Cool. Well, we're excited to have you guys here. We're excited. PrepperCon is just a day and a half away, well, almost 2 days away. If you guys really want to take advantage of the opportunity, get here to PrepperCon, 9 a.m. Friday morning. We're giving away 200 Ultimate Survival cards. That's 22 tools in one. We've also got some giveaways from Stealth Gear and some of our other sponsors that they're kind of like door prizes. For everyone that's come through the door, you can sign up for our grand prize. You got to be 12 and older to win. But the cool thing is there's a chance to win I think we've got almost 3,000 giveaways total.
3,000.
With 20 grand in total value.
Wow.
So, thank you, Jason, for being on with us. We'll be back after the break.
We'll see you at the show.
You're listening to
thanks,
K-Talk
guys.
Radio. K-Talk, AM 630, the voice of the Rocky Mountains, the coolest station in the nation. We'll be right back.
Because we're here.
We'll be right back after a message from our sponsors.
I left and
Hey guys, welcome back. You're still on K-Talk Radio. This is the coolest station. We want to thank the owners, the management. We do this show every week for fun more than anything else and to help people get better prepared. And that's because the owners here at K-Talk are big believers in what PrepperCon's doing. Normally they charge everyone for their show time. And for us, we've kind of worked out a special deal. I'm probably going to have to give them 1,000 of those survival cards or something, but they've just been so kind and so gracious because they really want to help the community. And that's what K-Talk's all about. It's the community. So shout out to K-Talk. If you're not following them on Facebook, get on there. And if you're not coming to PrepperCon, get on it. You need to be there. I mean, you've seen our billboards. Our advertising's everywhere. We're on the TV. We're on radio. Of course, that's how we're talking to you right now. We've even got vehicle wraps.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a lot of fun.
And, as I was kind of said last week, is that you've got to be intense. And now is the time to be intense. It's no time to really sit back and say, oh, I'll get prepared next year, or I'll work on my food storage at another time. Right now is really the time, and I don't know if I can stress that enough. There's so much going on, and without getting into anything in particular, but so much going on around the world that you have no excuse to sit back on your laurels and say, I'll do this another time. The time is now. But Scott was talking about wraps. We're building the 4Runner out to be the ultimate bug out vehicle and really more of a kind of a community response vehicle. So we'll be unveiling that and doing more promotions on that as we go in the next couple weeks, couple months. But I wanted to give a shout out to the guys who did our wrap, who did our logos. They're the Sign Guys down in Orem. It's signguys.org. Excuse me, signguys.org. And they are the most responsive, most professional guys I have dealt with so far, Sign Guys so far. And they are also one of the only sign manufacturers, sign retailers, whatever you want to call them, that actually do everything in-house.
Awesome.
Like, for example, the Costa Vida signs you see on front of buildings, they do everything in-house. They don't order anything out. They manufacture from scratch in-house, which I find very impressive. So just a shout out to the Sign Guys.
Support local. So
exactly.
We've got a lot of stuff coming up at PrepperCon. Our class schedule just got launched. Go to preppercon.com. Check that out. We've got another special guest waiting on the line, Trisha with Day One. We're going to bring her on, and they're one of our sponsors for PrepperCon. They've been amazing, and Day One is probably my favorite filter system. When I go camping, I have to have it with me. So let's bring Trisha on. Trisha, are you there?
I'm here.
Awesome,
How are you
Trisha.
guys doing?
Great.
Good.
Thanks so much for being with us today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Well, we're excited to have you guys at PrepperCon. You guys came last year, and you kind of blew my socks off with your signature Day One water treatment filtration system.
That's great.
And I take it camping, and the reason I do is because when you go camping, you don't always have water right there readily available. So I usually have to haul in some water, but we go camping near enough that I can hike over to the river, and I can get all the water I want, but then I've always had the problem, okay, now I got to filter it. And your bag, for those who haven't seen this yet, go to, what's your website real quick?
It's dayoneresponse.com, and that's DAYONE response.com.
Okay, go look at that while I tell you guys how cool this bag is. So I can just scoop up the water with this bag. It's a backpack at the end of the day, right? Seal off the top, clip it in, throw on the straps, and if the water's clean enough, I don't have to add the Procter & Gamble
The flocculant.
Flocculant.
The
but if the
treatments.
water's murky, throw that in there, and as I'm walking back to camp, it's starting to help settle everything. Then I just hang it up. And then
Exactly.
you've got an inline filter, so now I'm making sure my water's twice as purified as possible. But it's two stages, and then now I've got water. I'm not having to hand pump anymore. I'm not having to carry in my hands the water. It's on my back. My hands are free. I can gather and do other stuff. And so for me, it's amazing. But then I find out about your mission, and your mission again blows me away. Tell the listeners a little bit about what you guys are doing and how you're doing it.
Sure, yeah, and I think kind of what you said about earlier was about time is now, and our company, Day One Response, is really about that, right? We're not waiting around for a disaster to happen, but we want to be prepared, and we know it's going to happen anywhere in the world. So I started the company about 5 years ago, primarily focused on the humanitarian side, right? We know earthquakes are happening in Nepal or in Myanmar, floods in the Philippines, floods in West Africa, and we saw the need for compact, lightweight, what you were saying, dual, robust treatment, whatever kind of water you have around, you'd be able to treat. And so that's really where our initial focus and our primary focus was around humanitarian work, working with the Red Cross, working with World Vision, working with a lot of the great humanitarian players. And we've done that. We've been in Nepal, been in the Philippines, been in Ghana, in Ethiopia. But about a year and a half ago, our people, even in Nepal, were asking us, what are we doing in the U.S.? They're very, very aware that, it's not, we're still prone to disasters here, whether it be an earthquake or a flood. And so PrepperCon last year, PrepperCon 2015, was when we launched our family kit on the retail and preparedness side. And it's been awesome to be part of this kind of community and preparedness and think about what else is happening around the world and how can we provide a robust solution around safe drinking water.
And that's one thing I really love about your water bag is, here in the Rocky Mountains, we are really, I think, blessed to have some really exceptional water. It comes right off the mountains. For the most part, yeah. For the most part, it's clean. And so typically, we've been used to having, when I go backpacking, I have a water pump, a water filter of some kind. So I would need to find something that's relatively clean, that's flowing, so that I don't get my filter clogged up. And that's kind of what I look for. But with the water bag, you can really take virtually any water source. And I'm just going to throw the word virtually in there, even a mud puddle, right?
Exactly.
And dip this in there, fill it with water, use the flocculant to settle out all the sediments to the bottom of the bag, and then it flows, and also I guess it has a chlorine. What is the exact component? It's a sodium hypochlorite?
It's a calcium hypochlorite.
Calcium hypochlorite. Okay. Which, kills the bacteria and viruses. And then, additionally, flows through a 99.99 micron. Well, it filters out 99.99% of bacteria, not viruses, but bacteria and so to further even purify the water. And so you can use any water source. And here in the Rocky Mountains, we don't necessarily need to use, if we have a clear water source, don't necessarily need to use the P&G packet with that, because if it's clear. Is that kind of your take on that, as how that works?
Yeah, I think the big thing, like you said, you might come in contact with what seems to be a clear water source, pristine, mountain stream. But our philosophy is really, you still don't know what's in that water, right? Is there bacteria? Is there Giardia or Cryptosporidium? And so we really recommend the dual treatment with the P&G pack that does have, like you said, the flocculant and disinfectant, and then the inline filter. And that just gives, I think, the user, whether that's you or me, a little bit more confidence that, hey, my water is really safe, whether for myself or my kids. But yeah, the filter, that, like you said, the packet removes the bacteria, viruses. It does, through the settling, it does do some cysts or like Giardia, Cryptosporidium removal. The filter does additionally the bacteria and cysts, and so it really does provide that treatment. It meets the US EPA standards.
It's always better to be safe than sorry. And
exactly.
It's kind of funny. You can tell that Shane absolutely studies. He knows the right words. I'm like, Crypto, what about something? And he's just like, yeah, that'll kill you. And I'm all, yeah, I'd be dead. So
filter your water, people.
Water is, for me, it's funny because I've been doing preparedness and survivalism since I was 13. And water is always like my biggest concern, because I got into Boy Scouts, and the first thing I learned and I was drawn to was shelter building. And I'm like, done, got that. Right, emergency rule of 3. You can survive 3 hours without shelter. Okay, what's next? Water. Water's always the big no.
The big one, yeah.
Because most of the people I talk to, they think about food first, and I'm like, really? You're gonna forget that your body runs on water, and as soon as you pull that water out, doesn't matter what else you're putting in, like you're not gonna last. And so, water filtration and simple solutions, I think, is the thing that a lot of people forget about, and they forget that in a disaster situation, I don't want to waste extra energy trying to pump water or push water through a filter when I can just hang it and go get other things done that need to be done. There's so much that we have to focus on in a disaster. I mean, I look at Nepal, and number one, they needed water. They needed clean, potable water, but they also needed to figure out how to get it to people so they could have it. Well, here comes day one. You've got a bag that carries, is it 2.5 gallons?
Right, 2.5 gallons.
2.5 gallons. I mean, that's perfect. Just to survive on a daily basis, you can get a few people through on just 2.5 gallons. I mean, doesn't give you enough food, water to rehydrate your year supply of food here in Utah, but 2.5 gallons is plenty. You'll get through it. And take an extra trip if you need to, but you're not wasting the time trying to pump it and burning those calories to pump your water and filter it and run other systems. It allows you to go, okay, now let's focus on everyone else's needs. I can go help with the first aid tent. I can go help with the mess tent. I can go help someone else get a little bit better into a better situation. Whereas if I'm having to stress about it and worry about it, like, it takes so much time normally for your water filtration systems, and you guys have done such an amazing job. I can't say enough good things about how you guys do things. So thank you.
And we really appreciate that. And I think you make a good point about, that is one thing we want to look at, is how do we provide a volume of water, enough water to support a family that, okay, I've treated the water, it's being, the chlorine's doing its job. I can kind of let it be, go focus on, do I have enough food, how's the shelter, come back, have enough water for the course of the day, and it's reusable. But it's that sense of, okay, I trust it, and it's enough. It's not just one water bottle. We run into so many people that just have one water bottle or a pump filter, and it's really designed for an individual. And we said, can we do this for a family?
Exactly. And if you're pumping water, you've got to have containers, clean sanitary containers to put that clean water into.
Yeah,
so coming out of the water bag, it comes out clean. You can use it immediately and don't necessarily have to find a clean, sterile container to put that water in.
Yeah, and I think that's something that we often, I think, forget, and we've seen that a lot internationally, whether it was in Nepal or even in the Philippines, is a lot of times, you treat it and it's it's of good standard, but as soon as you put it in another container, you might recontaminate it.
Exactly.
And so that water bag allows for that, entire safety factor, as well as being hygienic and not worrying about it. Is a kid going to put their hand in a bucket or in a container, or did I just drop the container and the water spilled out? So I think that's a good point.
Yeah, when I'm at a water source and you've got your water pump, you've got your clean side, you got your dirty side. And you don't want those to cross-contaminate. I'm always carefully make sure this hose doesn't fall into the dirty water, and then keep this in the clean. It's definitely much simpler the water bag to manage and have a place to store your water.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
go ahead.
Okay. No, I was just going to say another thing about the disinfectant is, if you use it, say you use the water bag, whether you're going for an outdoor excursion or for, a couple of days for your preparations, and then you put it away for a week or say a month, and you bring it back out. The great thing about the disinfectant is it's there, and so there's the biofilm's not going to build up within the filter. And I think that's a big thing about the maintenance. We tried to really simplify it and allow for extended use.
That's true. And what she's saying is that if you have a traditional water filter, after you use it, you need to dry it out. It needs to sit out. You got to take it apart. You got to backwash it, clean it, and make sure that you dry it out. Otherwise, it grows bacteria.
Yep. Well, we want to thank you for being on with us today. Now, if you guys want to check out your own, get your own, or even if you want to look at it first, come to PrepperCon Friday and Saturday from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Come to the Day One booth. You can see how this works. They'll show you everything and anything, answer all your questions. It's going to be a lot of fun. We've got discount tickets for those of you guys who are listening and you're near your computer. Go to preppercon.com, and I want you to use the promo code KTALK. No dash, no hyphen. It's just KTALK, and you're going to get an extra $2 off on your online purchases, and that's thanks to KTALK Radio. They're doing that promotion for you. So thank you so much for being on with us today. We'll see you at PrepperCon in 2 days.
Looking forward to it. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
We all need a safe place to retreat to sometimes, whether you're planning to bug out for the apocalypse or want a quiet place to relax and get away to. UtahSafeHaven.com is your solution, founded by preppers for preppers. They have the best properties for sale, ranging from small campsites to 50 acres or more. Pricing starts at just $19.9. And the best thing, everyone qualifies for their special in-house financing and no credit checks. Call Utah Safe Haven today at 435-315-8346 or email info@utahsafehaven.com and discover how quickly you can find your safe haven. That's 435-315-8346.